For those of you guys that have a Master Touch Premium or even a Weber Summit Kamado, I'm going to show you guys how to set up your barbecue grill for low and slow temperatures using the diffuser plate and the smoke ring. It's a beautiful day today and we're going to be doing some barbecue beef ribs, and later on I'm also going to be doing a tri-tip. So let's get started. So here's the diffuser plate. Go ahead and get that out of the way. And I had coals left over from a previous cook, so we're gonna go ahead and add some more. Okay, now Weber states that you can have anywhere between, I think it was 40 to 60 coals. I just fill it up until it gets about halfway to the ring. Just kind of spread it around, add some more. Now if you guys watched my last video, a 6-month update of a Master Touch Premium, you'll know that this grill is not very efficient. I know around 4 hours or so, I'm gonna have to remove the diffuser plate and check the fuel to see if I need to add any more. And based on my previous cooks, I will have to add more fuel. Right around 4 hours, 4 hours and a half, maybe 5 hours, we'll see. So I may have added too much because I need to save some room for the wood. I'm gonna be using hickory wood today. So I have about 2 wood chunks I'm gonna use right now, and a third piece of wood when it's time to do the tri-tip. So I think I have a little bit too much. I'm just gonna kind of move this around and just make sure I have like a pocket or two. Okay, and then I always do a check fit. Just kind of make sure it's all good. Now, I've wrapped my diffuser plate in aluminum foil just to keep things clean. You don't have to do that, but I wanted to just to keep it, you know, in the best possible shape it can be. Okay, now there's many different ways to actually start the grill. There's really no wrong way to start the grill. There's a couple different methods. A lot of people actually fill up their chimney starters about a quarter of the way with coal, and then they'll light that and then dump it, you know, in a specific section. So I'm actually not gonna do that today. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use a Weber lighter cube, and I'm gonna go ahead and start it right here, right in the grill, and just kind of stack a couple of charcoal pieces on top. And then once I have 5 or 6 pieces lit, I'll spread them around to get the Weber started. And typically you want to start around this section here. Every grill's different, but for my grill, I noticed that if I start around here, it tends to kind of do like a wave and burn the most efficiently. So just be aware that for your grill, you might have to start in a different location. Just kind of put my starter right there. And we're gonna go ahead and stack charcoal all around it. Okay. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and light it. Once again, just kind of keep everything stacked up. This should give me enough charcoal pieces lit to get the entire thing going. And we're just gonna go ahead and leave the grill open, make sure all of our vents are wide open, let as much airflow in, and come back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and then spread the pieces around, and we should be getting the fire going. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my trusty Weber grill tongs. And if you guys haven't already seen my video where I've reviewed these grill tongs, go check it out. You'll be surprised. It's really important to have a really good set of grill tongs. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Webers, and we're gonna go ahead and spread these puppies around just to kind of get a fire going. As you guys can see, I've mainly focused my fire around here, where I've kind of thrown in some pieces, and that's because I really need this to kind of go in a circle, kind of counterclockwise. Now, of course, fire is unpredictable, and it can possibly go anywhere depending on, you know, the environments, if it's windy or not, but I've spread it around to kind of get these 3 zones right here. And then we're gonna add some wood right now, And that should basically get our fire going. Okay, here's a really important step. So I went ahead and pre-soaked my wood chunks overnight and made sure that they completely dried this morning before I do this. I can actually feel it, the fire's really hot, so this is good. We're gonna be lit and ready to go. But it's really important that you pre-soak your wood chunks. You should soak them in water. Otherwise, when they do burn, they're gonna burn really dry and it's just gonna be really smoky with very little flavor. Or you're gonna have that really like firewood burnt flavor in your food. But if you soak them, they have a lot of moisture in them, and not only will they last longer, but they're gonna burn cleaner and will give you a much more flavorful taste. I don't want this to smoke necessarily all, initially. I want it to smoke throughout the cook. So I'm gonna place one right here, and I'm gonna place the other one someplace back here. You know what? That's a little too close. I'm gonna have this thing a little spread out. We're gonna add a little bit more room. I'm gonna have a wood piece right there. And the second wood piece, I kind of want to put it away from each other. So I'll put the second one maybe someplace down here. And that should pretty much deliver consistent smoke throughout the entire cook, which is basically what we're hoping for. And just be mindful of your coals. Just try to spread them evenly and try to think of this as how can you get the most out of the coals and how can you get an efficient, consistent heat and efficient and consistent smoke throughout the entire cook. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and put the diffuser plate on. Okay, now this is the part that's always tricky and always gets me. Sometimes I've stacked them too high and the diffuser plate doesn't necessarily go on there. Okay, there it is. The diffuser plate fit perfectly. So we're ready to go. As you can see, we're already getting some smoke going. That's from the wood. The diffuser plate hasn't warmed up yet, but I can feel the heat all around here. Okay, you guys can see now that most of the coals have been lit. We got a good fire going. One of the wood chunks is burning and smoking pretty well. It's now time to put the diffuser plate on. Today we're going to be trying to hit around 225 to 275. If I can keep it at 250, I'll be really happy.
So we have the diffuser plate on there. We're gonna let the barbecue grill shoot up to about 125 to 150 degrees over the low and slow temperature that I'm trying to get. And then once it does that, once I know that I have a good fire going, I'll close the lid, I'll check the temperature, adjust the vents. And we have one more crucial step. It's important to have a pan ready filled with water to provide moisture throughout your cook. And a lot of people like to add juices like apple juice or orange juice or whatever to boost the flavor and to keep the grilling environment optimal. Because we're doing beef ribs, we don't really need a lot. I'm gonna add just a bit, and it also serves dual purposes because it's also a drip or catch pan and keeps your barbecue nice and clean. Now, if we were doing brisket or something like that and we were smoking for 12 to 14 hours, I would definitely add a lot more liquid. But for barbecue ribs, we should be good to go.
So it worked like a charm. Without the diffuser plate and the lid closed, I was getting around 350 degrees. I just put the diffuser plate on, closed the lid, let it get back up to temperature, and now we're hovering at around almost 225. Looks like about 220, 225. This is pretty good. I want it just a little bit higher, and then we'll adjust the vents.
Okay, the ribs are in there, and now it's literally the waiting game. So we're gonna go ahead and smoke these for around 5.5 to 6 hours, and I'll keep you guys updated along the way. But now I'm just gonna keep an eye on the temperatures, and the hardest part, gotta wait.
Okay, we're maintaining a really good temperature, hovering around 250, and it's been about an hour, and this is what the ribs look like currently.
So we're only about an hour in, and as you guys know from my previous video, this grill isn't very efficient. So around the 4.5 hour mark, 5.5 hour mark is when the coals are usually done, and I'm gonna try to check it and add some more fuel around the 3-hour mark. So it's only been an hour into the cook. We'll give it another 2 or 3 hours or so, and then I'll add more fuel. And then at the very end, I'll add the tri-tip for the last hour. We'll go ahead and cook the tri-tip low and slow, then we'll sear it off and we should be good for dinner.
Okay, it's been about 2.5 hours and I have been noticing the temperatures are kind of dropping slowly. So I think it's time to add some more fuel. Now that does make sense because initially I did use coals left over from a previous cook. So makes sense, they weren't fresh coals. I probably had 50-50 in there, old coals and new coals. So no big deal. We're gonna go ahead and remove everything and add some more fuel. And this is how the beef ribs look right now at about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. Okay, so actually looking at it, it's really not that bad. There's still plenty of coals left, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some. Might as well since everything's off. That always works like a charm, waiting for the temperatures to shoot up and then putting the diffuser plate on. We're a little too high, we're about 275. I like to keep it at 250, so I have the bottom vent set at the smoking setting. Top vent's pretty much wide open, so we'll go ahead and close the top vent just a bit, and that should bring us down to 250. Alright, now it's time to put the tri-tip in. I'm going to be using the meter probe today to monitor the temperatures of the tri-tip. Tri-tip gets cooked just like steak, shooting for an internal temperature of about 122 or so. Then we'll sear it. Final temperature will be around 140, 145 after resting. And that should do it right there. So the ribs are looking good. We are almost there. Okay, at 6 hours, the ribs are out, and now for the tri-tip, it's time to start searing.
So as you guys can see, the cook came out amazing. The beef ribs are literally falling off the bone, and it was really simple to do. There's not a lot of videos out there explaining how to set up the Weber diffuser plate for the low and slow temperatures, so I wanted to do one and show you guys just how easy it is. And I want to answer one of the most popular questions, which is, can you use the snake method with the Weber diffuser? You can use any method you want to set up your charcoal grills. You can use the snake method, the 2-zone method, the domino method, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Remember, the diffuser plate is just diffusing the heat and giving you a nice, even, consistent temperature throughout the barbecue grill. So any method you feel comfortable using to set up the charcoal is entirely up to you, just as long as you get it lit and get to the proper temperature, and then use a diffuser plate to bring you to that low and slow temperature. Like always, guys, I hope you found this video informative, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Hey everybody, how'd you guys like that last video? Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified on my next video. And if you can, please share with your family and friends. I would really appreciate it. Here's some more content that I think you guys are really gonna enjoy. Check them out. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.